Hello, friends, and welcome to another edition of TXN Sports World. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We are awaiting the presence of Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we will catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we hope to have him back with us tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk. Light docket this week, so let's not waste too much more time, and let's get right into our first story of the week. Another NBA coaching hire. The Phoenix Suns have named Frank Vogel as the team's new head coach. Vogel, who is highly respected throughout the league for his culture building and championship pedigree, joins one of the best teams in the NBA with the Suns on a mission to develop a championship team and establish a long-term program in Phoenix. Owner Matt Ishbia said, "We are thrilled to welcome Frank Vogel to the Phoenix Suns as our new head coach. This is an important day for our organization as we continue to build a championship culture on and off the floor. Frank is an accomplished coach who understands how to win an NBA championship, which is our priority. Frank brings incredible character and work ethic, making him the ideal leader to continue to build one of the best organizations in all of sports." As the Suns conducted their coaching search, Vogel stood above due to his track record of success throughout his time as an NBA head coach, bringing to the Suns the experience of what it takes to capture a title and build a winning culture around talented players. His creativity and ability to build relationships were also significant factors, as Vogel has established the skill to connect with and develop players and to construct a dynamic coaching staff. Vogel said, "It is an honor to be named head coach of the Phoenix Suns. The Suns are a first-class organization, and I am grateful for Matt Ishbia and James Jones to have this opportunity. This is a highly talented team that is committed to winning, and I am excited to get to work." General Manager James Jones said, "We are excited to announce Frank as our new head coach, and I look forward to partnering with him as we elevate our program. Frank is one of the best coaches in the game, a proven winner, and has led some of the league's toughest defenses over the last decade. He is the right leader and program builder to take our team to the next level." Vogel joins the Suns with 11 years of experience as an NBA head coach with the Indiana Pacers, Orlando Magic, and Los Angeles Lakers, winning an NBA championship with the Lakers in 2020. In 3 of his seasons as a head coach, Vogel's team has led the league in defensive rating, and he has 5 times guided his team to a top 3 finish in defensive rating. Since he entered the NBA coaching ranks in 2010-11, no head coach has led the league or ranked in the top 3 in defense more often than Vogel. In his first season as Lakers head coach, in 2019-20, Vogel helmed the team with All-Stars LeBron James and Anthony Davis to the Western Conference's best regular season record and a 16-5 playoff run on the way to the championship. He has led his team to the playoffs in 7 of his 11 seasons as a head coach, 3 times progressing to the conference finals, including the NBA championship in 2020. Vogel holds a .557 winning percentage in 88 postseason games as a head coach, which ranks 15th in NBA history among those who have coached at least 70 career playoff games. Vogel, who becomes the 21st head coach in Suns history and the first to have won an NBA title as a head coach, holds a .431 and .389 career regular season record as a head coach with 3 division titles and 2 times earning a number 1 seed in the playoffs. He remains the Indiana Pacers franchise leader in NBA wins, 5 times has been named an NBA Coach of the Month, 3 times finished in the top 5 in Coach of the Year voting, and twice been a head coach for the NBA All-Star Game. A graduate of the University of Kentucky, Vogel was a student manager for head coach Rick Pitino and contributed to the Wildcats' national championship in 1996. The native of Wildwood Crest, New Jersey, transferred to Kentucky following 3 years as a starter for Division III Juniata College. Vogel got his start in the NBA as the head video coordinator for Pitino with the Boston Celtics before earning his first assistant coaching role with Boston in the 2001-2002 season. He served as an assistant coach with the Celtics from 2001 to 2004, Philadelphia 76ers 2004 to 2005, and Indiana Pacers 2007 to 2011 until the 2010-11 season, when he took the reins as Indiana's interim head coach and led that team to the playoffs. A proven winner, championship pedigree, it's a shame about what happened to Monty Williams because he did some great things for them there. But Frank Vogel has that championship experience that the Suns obviously were looking for. And if anybody can, get them, back into championship contention, Frank Vogel is definitely the guy to do it. The perfect man for this job. No question about that. And, just like with Monty Williams in Detroit, we got to wait and see what happens with that. But he took the Lakers to the NBA championship in the bubble in 2020. And, he's very respected, defensive minded, and with him now in Phoenix, business definitely picks up in the West now. And now Phoenix, is definitely going to be in that upper echelon as far as, contention is concerned. Championship contention goes for next season. So great hire by the Phoenix Suns. And, him with Kevin Durant and DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker and the rest of that and the rest of that core unit. Watch out for Phoenix. I think we need to keep an eye on Phoenix going into next season. There is no question about that. So a very good hire indeed. So there isn't any more for me left to say on this. I ran down everything. So with that, MF, come on in. The Phoenix Suns, they found their man. Frank Vogel has now been tasked with taking the Suns to that championship level. If anybody can do it, he is the guy that can do it, considering he's got that championship ring with the Lakers in 2020.
Yeah, with Frank Vogel has been a really good coach for a number of years. Not only during that time there, but also with the Indiana Pacers. And to me, this was a sensible hire. This was a smart hire. Vogel is one of those guys that is well liked, well loved in that NBA community, and you mentioned about it, his pedigree and everything else that he did. It was shocking that he didn't get hired sooner. But to go to a great situation with the Phoenix Suns, that's a great spot to land in. You got a great young talent in Devin Booker. You got Kevin Durant. You got DeAndre Ayton. There are questions that maybe Ayton might be on his way out of Phoenix, which would be fine. And then, of course, you got CP3, and there's rumors about him possibly being on his way out of Phoenix as well. So, with that going on, there's going to be some roster turnover, definitely. But with Frank Vogel, with the championship mentality, with the pedigree that he has, with Booker and with Kevin Durant, you already got a big two. There are some rumors about some guys who wants to come to Phoenix during the offseason, so we're going to wait and see how that plays out. But if they put the right pieces together, the right team together, and with Vogel, with his veteran leadership and voice, and if guys like Durant and Booker buys into his system, we could easily see the Phoenix Suns make a run again next year at the NBA championship. Unfortunately, this year wasn't their year. There was a lot of injuries that definitely plagued the team. Once we heard about the trade for Durant, we were thinking, oh my God, could that be could that be the final piece of the puzzle? Unfortunately for Phoenix, it wasn't. There was some injuries. There was some concerns about the way the team was playing, and now they feel like this is the right thing to do. So we'll wait and see how it plays out. But let me say it, man. Frank Vogel going to Phoenix is a blessing in disguise and actually a great spot to be in. So nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours, man.
All right, MF, and we move on now to week number 9 of the USFL. And just bear with me for a moment here as I've gone frozen here. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. The playoff race is starting to take shape in the USFL after another unpredictable week of action that saw no teams clinch a spot. However, last week we saw the Memphis Showboats win their 5th straight game and keep pace with the Birmingham Stallions in the South Division. And the Stallions, by the way, defeated the Philadelphia Stars 27-24 in a rematch of last season's USFL title game. And good news, MF. Birmingham is the overwhelming betting favorite to repeat as champions at plus 275, while the Showboats are plus 600 to take home the title. Week 9 begins on Saturday with a doubleheader at noon between the Michigan Panthers and the Pittsburgh Maulers on Fox. Michigan can clinch a spot in the playoffs with a win over Pittsburgh and a Philadelphia win over New Jersey on Sunday. Then at 3 on Saturday, the New Orleans Breakers will look to snap the Showboats' 5-game winning streak on FS1. On Sunday afternoon, in the game of the week, MF's Birmingham Stallions will try to clinch a playoff spot with a win over the Houston Gamblers at 2 p.m. Eastern on NBC. And finally, to wrap up an eventful Week 9, the Philadelphia Stars will battle the reeling New Jersey Generals at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox. So let's start it off with the first game. Saturday, high noon, over on Fox. It will feature the Michigan Panthers squaring off against the Pittsburgh Maulers. And it is the Michigan Panthers opening up as a 1.5-point favorite. So, and this game will be at the Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio. So with that being said, MF, you lead off the Week 9 action with Michigan squaring off against Pittsburgh. Who you got?
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup too, Anthony. When we talk about certain teams or certain squads right now, this is going to be one of those situations where this could go either way. And when you kind of start to think about it, especially when you get the Michigan, when you talk about Michigan versus Pittsburgh, it's kind of a back and forth battle. It's kind of one of those things where it can go either way. And I just feel like right now, I gotta feel like you gotta give the hot hand, and that's Michigan. I think it's a little bit of a close battle. It's gonna be an interesting fight, but Pittsburgh, I just don't know. They've been up and down too many times this season, where Michigan, I feel like, is kind of a little bit more consistent. Plus, with everything in play here, I got to go Michigan. Michigan Panthers wins it. Close battle, but I do believe they'll get the job done. So Michigan wins it. Anthony, it's yours.
Maulers dominated on both sides of the ball with a 23-7 win. Pittsburgh quarterback Troy Williams had a great all-around performance with 243 total yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Meanwhile, the Maulers' defense forced the Panthers into 4 turnovers and held them to 18 yards on the ground. Could we see the same scenario play out this weekend in Canton, Ohio? It's a strong possibility, as Pittsburgh should have defeated Houston last week after being up 16-6 going into the fourth quarter. However, Pittsburgh's offense struggled in the red zone 1 of 3 and could not stop Gamblers' running back Mark Thompson. The good news for Pittsburgh is Michigan's ground game is struggling to take off this season. 22% of the Panthers' rushing attempts have gone for negative yardage. That's an indictment on the offensive line and running backs Reggie Corbin and Stevie Scott III. Better should expect this to be another low-scoring game, as both defenses can get after the quarterback and create turnovers. But I like the Maulers. I like the Pittsburgh Maulers to get the home win, despite Josh Love playing better over the last 2 weeks. I'm actually going to go with the Pittsburgh Maulers to win this one, 20-17. Next up, the New Orleans Breakers squaring off against the Memphis Showboats at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis. This game will be on Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. over on NBC. And this is a pick'em game. No spread here. Don't look now, but the Memphis Showboats are in the thick of the USFL South playoff race and have a league-high 5-game winning streak. Memphis is coming off a solid win over the New Jersey Generals last week, where they forced New Jersey into 3 turnovers and got a fantastic performance from running back Kareth White, 23 carries for 102 yards and a touchdown. If the Showboats want to get the season sweep over the Breakers on Saturday afternoon, they must create a few turnovers again, which they did in Week 5 when they had 3 turnovers against New Orleans. Speaking of New Orleans, they held on for a 24-20 win against the Michigan Panthers last weekend after jumping out to a 21-0 lead. The Breakers had 3 turnovers but snapped their 3-game losing skid. McLeod Bethel Thompson completed 73.5% of his passes for 328 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Both touchdown passes went to wide receiver Johnny Dixon, who went off for 9 catches and 136 yards. The Breakers needed a big performance from that passing game as Wes Hills was held to 36 yards and a touchdown on 23 carries. It's tough to see Hills having success against the Showboats' run defense, which allows 99.4 yards a game. However, the Breakers have a better passing attack than the Showboats. And that could give them the upper hand in this pivotal matchup. But I got to go with the Memphis Showboats to win this game, though. I think Memphis wins it. I'm going to say 24-20. Memphis defeats New Orleans. So not much more to say on that. MF, your thoughts on this matchup?
Memphis is the hottest team in the USFL right now. I know a lot of people have been talking about, how good Birmingham is, and we'll get to them in a minute. But right now, if you're talking about the power rankings and everything else, Memphis is right now the number 1 team in the USFL. So I think they got something to prove. It's going to be a good battle, hard-nosed, down to the wire. But I'm with you, Anthony. I think Memphis gets the job done, and they knock off New Orleans. Even though New Orleans has been kind of I got to go with like you said, you got to go with the team with the hot hand, and Memphis has been the hottest team out there right now. So Memphis wins it. Nothing more to say. Anthony, let's get to the Sunday action.
And we start off the Sunday action with the game of the week in the USFL week number 9. And it's your team, MF, your reigning, defending, undisputed USFL champion, Birmingham Stallions. They got to go on the road to take on the Houston Gamblers. Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern on NBC. Birmingham is the favorite. It's a 3.5 point favorite. It's a 3.5 point spread. MF, I mean, oh boy, last week your Stallions, they got a wake-up call and then some from Philly in the first half last week. But your boys rallied in the fourth, scoring 17 points to come away with a 27-24 come-from-behind victory and barely getting by Philly in that rematch of last season's title game. But, yeah, like I said, MF, wake-up call for your Birmingham Stallions. And so how do you feel about your team's chances going into this matchup in the game of the week against Houston?
I feel confident. I feel like, I think Birmingham, look, they're battle tested. This is Birmingham's MO all season long and including last year. Not so great in the first half, but they flip that switch in the third or fourth quarter, and they just know how to. They scare the daylights out of you. They terrify you all the time. You're thinking, oh my God, what is going on with our team? And then they flip the switch on you, and you're just like, what on earth? I feel like they just need to establish early, be that dominating team. And because they're better out front than they are from behind. But the thing is, they can beat you any different way. And that's the scary thing about Birmingham. Birmingham, without a doubt, is the reason why they're the best team in why they are the best team in the USFL is because they're not afraid of the moment. They're not intimidated. And the thing is, after they got that wake-up call, because remember, they lost to Houston at home 27-20, and that was about almost 3 weeks ago. So they definitely remember that loss. And the thing is that other than that major defeat, they've won 3 in a row. And yeah, they haven't been the most prettiest performances, but the thing is, they are not afraid of the situation. And to go into to Memphis, to go into that legendary Liberty Bell, uh, the Liberty Stadium. It's gonna be one of those type of games where they just gotta handle their business. Just handle their business, do what they gotta do, and you're one step closer to the playoffs. They could clinch a spot. They could clinch with a win. If they win this game on Sunday, I believe that will be enough to get them over the finish line and at least to secure a spot into the USFL playoffs for the second straight year. So just handle your business. Think about the mistakes that you made in that first game back in Birmingham and just calm out firing. I believe they will. Birmingham gets their revenge on Houston and wins this game. Anthony, it's yours.
The best game of the weekend will happen on Sunday afternoon between the Birmingham Stallions and the Houston Gamblers. If Birmingham picks up the road win, they will punch their ticket to the postseason for the second straight year. However, if Skip Holtz's crew loses, things could get interesting in the USFL South Division heading into the final week of the regular season. The Stallions received a wake-up call from the Philadelphia Stars in the first half last week, but rallied in the fourth quarter, scoring 17 points to come away with a 27-24 win. Birmingham quarterback Alex McGuff had another MVP performance, completing 68.6% of his passes for 333 yards and 3 touchdowns. McGow has now set the modern USFL record for passing touchdowns 16 and total touchdowns 20. He will try to carry that momentum into Sunday's game against the Houston Gamblers, who actually defeated the Birmingham Stallions 27-20 in week number 5. In that game, the Gamblers did not have quarterback Kenji Bahar due to injury, but it didn't matter as the Stallions had no answer for running back Mark Thompson, who had 78 yards on 16 carries and 3 touchdowns. Thompson leads the USFL in rushing touchdowns this season with 13 and is the all-time spring football rushing touchdown leader in the 21st century. If the Stallions want to get the win, they must contain Thompson and keep him out of the end zone. Birmingham has struggled to stop the run this season, allowing almost 122 yards a game, which is the second most in the USFL. Houston will get its points on Sunday, but McGuff and the Stallions cover the spread and clinch a playoff berth. I got the Birmingham Stallions winning this game as well. My final score, 27-23. The Birmingham Stallions knock off the Houston Gamblers. And the final game of Week 9 of the USFL, Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on FS1. It's the Philadelphia Stars squaring off against the New Jersey Generals. And Philadelphia opening up as a 2.5-point favorite. In the final game of Week 9, the Stars will try to clinch a playoff spot with a win over the Generals. New Jersey has struggled mightily this season, losing 5 consecutive games. The Generals are averaging 17.2 points a game, but have been outscored by an average of nearly 5 points throughout their losing skid. It shows that New Jersey isn't getting blown out, but they haven't received consistent quarterback play, as Kyle Lauletta, Dakota Prukop, and DeAndre Johnson have all struggled. The Generals hope to have Johnson under center for this weekend's game after not playing last week due to a concussion he suffered in Week 7 against Michigan. New Jersey might have a chance to win if Johnson can play, but it's hard to trust them. As for the Stars, they came up short against the Stallions last week, despite a good showing from their quarterback, Case Cookus, 265 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. One of Cookus's TD passes went to wide receiver Corey Coleman, who had 4 catches for 107 yards. The Stars will not have running back Matt Colburn II and cornerback Channing Stribling for Sunday night, as they were placed on injured reserve on Tuesday. However, if Philadelphia can convert inside the red zone, they should walk away with the win. And I'm going with the Philadelphia Stars to win this game. My final score, 24-20. The Philadelphia Stars defeat the New Jersey Generals. So with that, MF, take it home for Week 9 of the USFL.
Total agreement with you on this one, Anthony. I'm actually going with the Philadelphia Stars as well. They're just like you've been saying the whole time. They got the hot hand right now. So I think Philadelphia will figure it out. I think they'll get the job done. Yeah, give me Philadelphia to win the game as well. So there's really nothing more to add here, Anthony. So we move on.
And I know you probably got to get your UFC notes ready, MF.
There actually is a couple of notes I want to get through first. This is outside of the normal range, but I did want to address a couple of things that did go down in the world of sports.
Okay.
Normally, I never do this, but I think it needs to be addressed.
Sure.
I want to get into this PGA Live Golf deal, this merger that went down. All right. And what it was about a couple of days ago, actually, I believe it was on Wednesday, we got the shocking announcement that the PGA and that Live Golf, and I think it was the DC, the European Golf Tour, that they were going to be merging together as one big entity. Now, as many of you guys know, about a few months ago, this was the same thing that happened with WWE and UFC as they're merging together to be called Endeavor. That is their slogan. That's going to be their name. That's what's going to be coming out. Now, a lot of the fans were stunned. The players were stunned because none of them knew about this deal. As a matter of fact, it was a backdoor deal that basically took everybody by surprise. Nobody saw this coming. A lot of people are saying it's a money grab. There are some people that are very angry with the PGA, thinking that they sold out. Now, there was some litigation that was being made. There was some stuff that was going around. But the heart of the matter and where the anger is coming from was especially the families of the 9/11 victims. They came out vehemently coming after the PGA and especially their commissioner, who said that they would never ever have cut a deal or do anything after Live Golf came out. This was from Greg Norman and the government of Saudi Arabia. They wanted it to get their stamp into the game, and they brought this deal and poached away some of the biggest names in golf, from Brooks Koepka to John Rahm to Phil Mickelson. And they actually offered Rory McIlroy $500 million to join, and Tiger Woods $750 to $800 million to join Live Golf. Obviously, Tiger said no, Rory said no, and Rory doubled down and blasted Live Golf, saying that it was a money grab, that it was blood money, that they didn't deserve the opportunity and everything else. And for what it was worth, yes, a lot of people were very angry at that situation. Well, when this came out, a lot of people were stunned. And now the same people that said that they were not going to do this deal, they were not going to do it, or blah, 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 now they turned and now took this merger that's going to happen in 2024. Now, just to let you fine folks know, if you're wondering what's going to happen, this new merger does not start until next year, 2024. As of now, the merger happens and it's official. Now the question becomes, what happens? What's the future going to be? We don't know. We actually don't know. The top names, the top stars are in it. But what happens to those middle of the road and the bottom tier guys in the PGA Tour? What happens to them? Same thing with the guys in Live. You know, you got your superstars, and they're all excited for this. But what about for the guys who needed the money, who was actually fine with doing shorter events, shorter tours? Because remember, with Live Golf, they were only doing 6 to 12 events a year. Where PGA, you're doing 2 times, 3 times that amount. So where's that balance line? How many events are going to be? Of course, the great news for all this is the majors now become the majors again. It isn't going to be like, oh, you're going to get where certain guys were allowed to be in certain tournaments. No. This opens the door for the live guys to come back and play in the majors. And of course, the major guys of the PGA will still be in it. So you get the mixture back of the top talent in the world competing in the Masters, competing in the PGA, competing in, all the other major tournaments that they normally do. They'll be able to compete again. Plus, what type of impact will this have not only on those events, but the Ryder Cup and the the President's Cup, which is normally USA versus Europe if it's the Ryder Cup, or USA versus the world when it comes to the President's Cup. What is that going to look like going forward? Obviously, the one thing that is stable now is that it was a money grab. And a lot of people are angry. A lot of people think that the PGA sold their morals and their integrity and everything for the blood money of Saudi Arabia. You could say that, and I would not be wrong with that. Absolutely not. But I think what it was they were afraid of the litigation. They were afraid of going to court and fighting for what is happening. Remember, there were 11 players that sued the PGA because of the fact that the PGA, in turn, blocked the live players from playing the major tournaments and said that you're not allowed to play these tournaments because of the fact that you sold yourselves to go to Saudi to do the live golf and basically try to splinter our game as is. This was a hot button issue, and it still is a hot button issue. Like, we have not even, I've never seen an explosion like this. And it has. It's gotten very serious within the last couple of days. So we'll wait and see how it plays out. But that was a very interesting article that came out, to say the very least. So now, as I shift gears to that UFC event that I wanted it to get into. Oh, hold on. Sorry. And that is UFC. Let me see if it is this week. Yeah, it should be. UFC.
And while MF gets situated with the UFC there, some breaking news that just came out. The Florida Panthers are right back in the Stanley Cup Finals as they defeat the Vegas Golden Knights 3-2 in sudden death overtime. Carter Verhaeghe, the hero, at 4:27 of the overtime. And Florida right back in the Stanley Cup final. So I just wanted to address that elephant in the room there. So, and by the way, MF, it's UFC 289 that goes down. That goes down this Saturday night north of the border, Canada.
Yeah, we're going to Vancouver. Yeah, we are actually. Yeah, we are going to the Rogers Center or the Rogers Arena in Vancouver, British Columbia. Yes, it is official, guys. So here we go. We got a couple of early prelim fights. We got a women's strawweight fight. Diana Balaca versus Maria Oliveira. Then on the other, you can watch this on ESPN Plus or on the UFC Fight Pass. David Dovovec versus Stefan Erbreg. That is what we got for the main the undercard. So then we get into the preliminary fight that is supposed to be going down. This is going to be on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Kyle Nelson going up against Blake Belander. Then you got Alderman Zamadin versus Arroyo Kawane. Then a women's flyweight fight. Miranda Maverick, she's going up against Jasmine Jacobitis. And then in the main event of the preliminary fight, this is Nazimov Amayev. He's going up against Chris Curtis. Then the main card, the main fight, 10 p.m. jump off on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. We start off with the first bout of the evening, as it will be Canada's own, Canada's own Marc-Andre Berlet. He's going up against former college football player from the University of Alabama. It's Ryan Eric Anders. That is actually a three-way bout. Then we got Dan Ing. He's going up against Nate Lauderman. That's also a three-fight bout. Then we have Mike Millett. He's going up against Adam Ferget. Then we have a big one. Benel Daniush. He is going one-on-one with former UFC lightweight champion of the world, Charles Oliveira. And in the main event of the fight card, it is ladies' night. Irina Adela, she is going to try to make history and is going to try to knock off and topple one of the best MMA fighters in the world, Amanda Nunes, for the UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship of the world. Man, this is going to be a good fight. This is going to be a great event. Amanda is the favorite going in, but Irina is a very powerful puncher. And you know, when it comes to punchers, Amanda Nunes, she does struggle. The last time she fought a pure puncher was actually Juliana Pena, and we saw the biggest upset in UFC history, where Juliana Pena took the title away from Amanda Nunes. Could lightning strike twice, or will the Lioness dominate and successfully defend her crown? We'll find out on Saturday night. Anthony, it's back to you, my friend.
And that's really all we have for tonight. I mean, we were hoping to have Michael Bullock with us, and because if he had been on tonight, we would have had him share his experiences from the Special Olympic State Summer Games that went down last weekend. But obviously, Bullock is not with us this evening, so we'll have to push that to a future show the next time he joins us for the show. So I told you it was all going to be. I told you I was going to be a light docket. So with that will put the bow on this abbreviated edition of TXN Sports World. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. As always, we will be back with you tomorrow night at 11 p.m. over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95, for another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, as we will be reviewing Friday Night SmackDown and AEW Rampage. And unfortunately, AEW Rampage is back to reality this week. But, you know, we expected it after that outstanding show we saw last week. But, you know, it is what it is. And then Monday night, we do it all over again. We have Ridiculously Raw right back here on the Tone 25. And we'll review Monday Night Raw as always as we continue on the road to Money in the Bank. And then, of course, another special Tony's Take, as I will have the results of the Impact Wrestling Against All Odds special that goes down tomorrow night. Wednesday night, we have Wednesday Night Madness with MF, as that will once again be, of course, NXT and AEW Dynamite. Now, MF, let's keep in mind, Collision starts the week following on Saturday the 17th. Are we going to be shifting our program?
That's when the shift begins. Yes.
All right. So, will TXN Sports World be moving as well? Will we be moving to?
As of now, no. I was keeping TXN Sports World on Thursdays.
All right. That is until the NFL comes back.
Yes. Then what will happen is Thursday will be the college football show. Friday will be the NFL Fridays.
All right. And then will TXN Sports World then move to the Fridays following football?
I'm kind of feeling I kind of feel like keeping it on Thursdays, Anthony. To be honest, I don't know if I should move it to Fridays, but because right now I kind of feel like Thursdays is better for the shows.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough. So so next Thursday, TXN Sports World, we will have week 10 of the USFL. That's for sure. Maybe a Stanley Cup or NBA recap. I don't know, depending on if one or both of those series wraps up by then. Maybe, not likely, but maybe. You don't know. And we know there will be week 10 of the USFL for sure. Oh, and MF will review the UFC 289, and I know he'll want to get into the next UFC event, which is a UFC on ESPN show that'll be going down the following week. And then starting next week, the Cerebral Smack Talk will be moving to Saturday nights. Saturday, June 17th, we will have the Cerebral Smack Talk now on our new home on Saturday nights, as we will be reviewing Friday Night SmackDown and AEW Collision from the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. The big main event, CM Punk and FTR versus Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Samoa Joe. So that and a whole lot more. Mark that down on your calendars. Next Saturday night, June 17th, we will be getting in. It'll be the new Cerebral Smack Talk, and it'll be interesting when we have pay-per-views on top of that. Oh yeah. So we'll figure that out. We'll work our way around that in the future, but that's for right now. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95, the final Friday night edition of Cerebral Smack Talk. Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, Michael Bullock, and of course, always and forever, the First Lady Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up, Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday, and until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you've been watching TXN Sports World right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streamer.com. And for everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody. Bye.